Welcome back to the Tabletop Nights. My name is Victor, and welcome to the Dark Souls expansion unboxing video. So we've got the character, Phantoms, Explorers, and Iron Keep expansion. Very excited to unbox them. But before we start, make sure you hit the like button because it makes us feel nice inside, and it makes us think we're doing the things right. And also, on that note, if you have any feedback on how we can make the unboxings better, let us know in the description. But I'm pretty excited to do this, so let's dig straight in. Right, first things first is hidden at the bottom of the box that I received was this Dark Souls coin. Double-sided. Full metal coin. I love this sort of stuff. I'm going to put it in one of these board games so I don't lose it. But I'm a massive Dark Souls fan, so any tiny little bit of collectible like that just makes me really happy. I've been playing it ever since the Demon Souls came out, so it's safe to say I'm pretty deep into it, which is why I would get the board game in the first place. More lore, being able to play it with friends, whereas the video game isn't heaps co-op. I mean, you can join, but I've always had issues with that. But I'm excited to dig straight in. Let's do the characters expansion first, and I do hope these boxes sort of pack them a little bit better because the core game didn't come with any padding for any of the minis or anything. So if you're moving it around, they bang around quite a lot in there, so it's a little scary, to be honest. All right, so we've got the character expansion first. The characters expansion is intended for use with the Dark Souls, the board game. The expansion character miniatures represent alternative choices for a player's starting character. Its armor miniatures represent treasure that can be found as the players purchase treasure cards from Blacksmith Andre or find treasure chests during their exploration of the world of Dark Souls. So that's really cool. So not only is there the basic character, but there's also like when you find armor, you can swap the mini out for extra armor. That's really awesome, actually. So it doesn't seem too intense, but it looks like we've got quite a few here. So obviously you can't play Dark Souls without the Deprived. Honestly, I don't know why that wasn't in the core game. So yeah, you got the Deprived here. That's really cool. Combat versatility. Once per spark at the start of his activation, or her, the Deprived may change equipment as if he had visited Blacksmith Andre. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, basic stats, 10, 20, 30, or 40 there. So that's interesting. I probably would be interested to play with that. We've got the Thief. Very cool character, very cool art on that as well. Once per spark during his activation, the Thief may use Lucky Break. When he does, he removes 2 black cubes and 2 red cubes from his endurance bar and flips his luck token to the ready side. So for those of you that don't know, you pop these out on the player boards. The black cubes go there, red cubes go there. Red cubes is life, black cubes is endurance. When they meet in the middle, you die. Or when they meet somewhere, you die. So you've got to make sure that you're managing those really, really clever. Perfect. Then we've got the Cleric. Everyone's favorite Cleric. Everyone just assumes the Cleric is there just to heal, but well, pretty much he is. But we've got the Cleric there. That's really cool. Again, the art is just awesome. I love Dark Souls art. It's probably one of the best art in any video game of all time. Let me know in the comments below if you disagree. And what is your favorite video game art? All right, once per spark, during her activation, the Cleric may use Keep the Faith. When she does, each character within one distance removes 2 red cubes from their endurance bar. That's really cool. And you got the back, of course. Excellent. We've got the Sorcerer. I'm happy with... Let's use the overhead camera, actually. We've got the Sorcerer over here. That's badass. Once per spark, when the Sorcerer makes a magic attack, it gains unlimited distance, and its stamina cost is reduced by 3. That's very OP. It says unlimited distance, so that's really cool. Pyromancer. I'm actually surprised they did not add this into the core game. What was in the core game? I think they had the Knight. God, it's been a long time since I played. Rogue. The Warrior. And something else. It was something to do with magic. But you've got the Pyromancer there, which is a staple of any Dark Souls. Come on, let's add this into the core game next time. When you release Dark Souls, the board game version 2, second edition, make sure you release the Pyromancer straight away. Once per spark, when the Pyromancer makes a magic attack, it gains 1 attack dice. And then we've got the Mercenary as well. I mean, that art is just so cool. I get so excited with unboxings now. It's ridiculous. All right, once per spark during the activation, the Mercenary may make an attack that costs 0 stamina, even if they already use that weapon during their activation. Wow, so you get to basically double up on attack there. So how many characters is that? That's 6 extra characters. That is awesome. One of the things that about the core game that wasn't that enjoyable was that there was only 4 characters. And they were pretty basic, to be honest. We'll save the minis for last, and I'll get some good close-ups of the minis as well. So I'll show you on this camera here, but I'll take some extra close-ups as well. So don't fret. All right, so we've got the starting class and specialized character class items as well. So and just I think more treasure just generally. So we've got how many cards is that? There's quite a few here. Is it in the little rule book here? 23 starting equipment cards, obviously for each of the 6 characters. 60 class-specific treasure cards, 10 common treasure cards, and 10 legendary treasure cards. So that just does add to quite a bit. Again, the art's fairly easy to read on this card, to be honest. That's pretty cool. So I'll get one of these little boards here on the overhead cam for you just to show. So just say the Mercenary is up. You would put his armor there. You can imbue it twice. Is there any extra gems? Doesn't look like there's any extra gems. That's fine. You'd put the weapon there. We got a ring as well. So I'm pretty sure the ring goes underneath. Perhaps, yeah, I'm pretty sure the ring goes underneath. And you've got the shield there as well. And then you've got like extra slots for weapons and stuff. So that's basically how it works. It can be, it's not a bad system. Honestly, it's not a bad system. It's a pretty decent character board in the Dark Souls games. Nothing too sort of intense to learn. And yeah, I like that it has the slots because it tells you like, oh, you can't add it anymore to this section. So it means you're constantly selling the weapons back. But there's some pretty cool armor in here. Some really nice looking cards. So I'm happy with that. Maybe I'll scan a few up as well just so you guys can see a close look. But it never hurts to have extra cards for this game. But the deck itself was already massive. So it's going to be quite a big deck of cards you're going to be playing with now. All right, let's get to the minis, shall we? Again, this is the box I was looking forward to the most, but I think we've got some really other cool boxes coming, to be honest. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video. All right, some really annoying sticky tape, but other than that, boom! These minis, right off the bat, really nice. Now, again, what I mentioned before is one of the things that was a problem with the core game, at least in my experience, was that they were a little fragile. I did manage to only break 1 of them, so I'm glad to see that this does have a dedicated holder for them, whereas the core game didn't have that at all, at least the one that I got. So yeah, they really needed to do that. You can't carry that board game around the core box, but these minis are awesome. Like again, I'm going to be taking close-ups of these. But I think they said you've got your core 6. So like you've got the Deprived there, for example, the Deprived mini. So completely butt naked. And then you've got him in armor. So if you were to upgrade your armor and wear the Silver Knight armor, you can look like that. So that's really cool. I do like that. I probably wouldn't worry too much about doing that because, if you're using the Deprived character and you do put on armor, it might be a bit confusing to like, which mini should I use? But, for some of you that would like to do that, if I made a video in this game, which I probably will, I would probably do that just so it seems more fun. But, yeah, really cool minis. You've got the Havel's armor here. That's badass. I'm happy with that. So you get, just so you know, 6 character miniatures. That's good. That's perfect. 10 armor set miniatures. And that's it. So you have quite a lot here. This is already adding so much to the core game, and I haven't even opened these other 3 expansions yet. So let's dig straight into that, but it's going to pack away really nice and neat. That goes back in. Cards slot in there. Boom, back into that, and then player boards. Perfect fit. And the box is fine as well. It's like a little mini pizza box. Very easy to pack away. Character expansion done. All right, next one, just because it's on the top of the pile here. The Phantoms expansion. So it looks like there's quite a bit in here. So I'm pretty keen to get into this one. Looks like there's some different color minis as well. So before there was just like the brown for the characters, and then the light or the dark grey, I guess it was, for the enemy miniatures. So in this one, looks like there's quite a few different colors, which is nice. It adds something to the game, makes it feel different. So you got the Phantoms expansion. So it is quite thick, this book. It's obviously it's not as easy as just jumping in and going. Probably comes up with some more rules, 1 or 2 extra rules. Otherwise, you'd want a few new rules in an expansion for sure. So we'll keep this over here. So the Phantoms expansion is intended for use with the Dark Souls, the board game. Summons are allies the party can call upon during boss encounters to assist them with these difficult battles. Invaders are added to encounters when characters gain Ember tokens. Invaders make the encounter more difficult, but also give players a chance to claim unique equipment cards and gain additional souls. So obviously, in the Dark Souls board game, there's such a thing called Phantoms, which are basically can be other characters, real life characters, or fake AI characters that come in randomly and attack you. So that's really cool. I did not expect that. I had no idea what these expansions were before going into this. So we do have some minis here, some tokens. So I'm not sure if these... I think these might be like you might have to step on them to activate them potentially. Yeah, so they've all got like the red eye on the back. And then you flip them over and it's what it is. So do you get a gargoyle? No, I don't know. That'd be crazy, a gargoyle phantom. And then you've got some more health dials. So you can summon some characters in as well. So we'll have a look at that. So you've got quite a few characters that you can summon in, I think. Let's have a look. So you've got 10 summon miniatures. You've got everyone's favourite, Sigwad of Katarina, if that's how you say his name. I've only ever read it in the book, in the video game. Soler of Estora, everyone's favourite, praise the sun. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so you've got 10 summons. And everyone's favourite, Rogue Witch Beatrice, which helps you with that giant butterfly in Dark Souls 1, I remember that. And then you've got 11 invaders, actually. 11 invaders. So these look quite intense, but we'll get to those minis. But you've only got 1 dial per character, per invader or summon. So you don't get a dial for each character. You only get it for the invader or the summoned. All right, let's get into the cards. Oh, actually, so yeah, this is what I was hoping for. So the dials in the Dark Souls board game are really good. So you get these little plastic bits that clip into each other. So I'll just do one for you now. All right, so you've got the Invaders token here. So that just goes in like so. You put the one piece in the top, one piece in the bottom. It's not a unique game board mechanism, but it's the best way to do these little counters, I reckon. Ideally, you're meant to have 2 separate pieces. I was trying to click in the same piece together, and then you slide the health dial. These are really good. I did really like that about the core game. Very forward thinking, easy to keep track of how much damage you've done. Really easy. And in the boss fights as well, you'll notice that on these dials there's like a little flame token, and that's when they a little flame icon, and that's when they turn aggro on you. So like in any video game, when you get a boss down to a certain health, they turn aggro and they get like an extra skill set. So I think that's pretty cool. You've got some item cards here. Not many. You don't have many item cards. How many do we have? So we've got 12 treasure cards. So that's, I guess, if you beat the invader, you get a treasure base of what it is. And yeah, each one has a different symbol. So if you were to beat Kirk, Knight of Thorns, you would get his... Let's have a look. Here it is. Boom. You would get that item, the spiked shield. So that his figure's on the back there. You beat him, you get his spiked shield, which is awesome because they're some of the best weapons you get in the video game. Is when you beat these invaders, you get some really badass weapons. So there's 12 of those. Again, they fit in really nice with the player boards. Then we have a nice thick deck of cards here, which will obviously be to see how your summon and the invader behaves. So I'm guessing... So this is quite a real thick deck of cards. So 64 invader behavior cards. So let's try to suss out. So let's have a look here. All right. So they're all jumbled together, which is frustrating, which means I've probably got to have to sort them out, perhaps. All right. So these are all the behavior cards. So there's 64 of these. So this guy, for example, the Kirk Knight of Thorns has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards for him. He'll have his sort of main cards somewhere, surely. Yep, so there's actually 2 of them, which is a little confusing as to what he does. So he must have like an aggro state as well. So when Kirk pushes a character, that character suffers bleed, or Thorns, when a character performs an attack against Kirk while in Kirk's node, that character suffers bleed. So he's got 2 main cards that he will do, and then he's got a bunch of behavior cards. So when you draw a forward roll, for example, so he'll do a forward jump, and he'll for 2 tiles, and then he'll push you for 3. And again, if he pushes you, you gain bleed. So that's pretty cool. They seem a bit more basic than the boss fights, but I'm not sure. I'd have to read into more what these actually do, because they'll probably add a few more. Again, more gameplay mechanics. So there's lots of these. You'd probably want to sleeve these, because I did notice with the core game, and they've obviously used the same cards here, that they've got that sort of finish that does easily sort of get those marks on the edge of it, which isn't too bad, but it would sort of, if you play this game heaps, like if it was your go-to game, after time you'd get so much wear on these cards that you'd know what card is coming. And then you've obviously, so you've got the those cards for the invaders. And then you've also got 40 summon behavior cards. So I guess they're a little bit more basic. So really nice art. They do use the same picture on every ability though. Which, I mean, there's a lot of art in this game already. So they don't really need to do that. It'd probably be a little bit confusing actually, because you'd be like, oh, is that the same character? So, yeah, these obviously are made to assist you. Let's try to find the actual character card for her. Will be at the back. Here we go. So we've got Sigward of Katarina. So that's the player card there. 7 health. So not very powerful. Actually, it looks like all the invaders, the summons, have much less power behind them than the invaders do, but that's okay. That's how we roll. They're there to help us, not absolutely dominate the game. All right, so let's get into the minis. All right, so again, they've got the cover for the minis. They obviously learnt from their mistakes a little bit. God, there's extra sticky tape I didn't realise. Here I am trying to pull it off. Bloody hell, that's how we break board game components, people, when you don't realise how much sticky tape there is on it. So these minis are completely different coloured to anything else to sort of help you differentiate them from your core enemy and your actual player. So the invader's obviously red. And again, there's lots of details in these. Heaps of details. So I'll be taking really good close-ups of all of these. This is badass. The Thorns guy, he's got like... I'm trying to move that out of the background. Let me get some focus on you. So he's got actual thorns on him. Oh, and everyone's favourite character, Solaire. Praise the sun, people. Praise the sun. That's cool. That's like a collectible in itself, just having him. This one has a bit of a bend in his sword, so he's a bit weak. He got a little bit of a bend, but otherwise, I'm really happy with these. Again, you'll be seeing close-ups on the screen of all these. I don't need to tell you that. Of course, I'm a close-up guy. We get those close-ups. I won't take close-ups of all of them though, because I don't have that time. Come on, guys. I thought you liked me. All right, so this packs up really nice. Actually, you put the item cards back in. Oh, so many behavior cards. What an absolute nightmare. I do look forward to reading up on how to implement the summons into the game. So that'll be cool. While I'm here, I might as well pop them all. So they pop out pretty nice, it seems. I do wonder with these if it's random, like what summon or invader you get, like if they make it always random. One would lead me to think that is what it's going to be. A random invader or summon. But then that sort of means you have to have the cards on hand. So I don't know how that'll play out, but I'm interested to see that. So that goes back in there. And you know what? This is the perfect place to put the Dark Souls coin. It's got a little bit of extra space there. But this is a bit thicker, this rule book. So it obviously goes into the unique rules that some of the invaders or summons might have. So that's badass. Phantoms expansion. Did not know that would... I guess I didn't even realize that would be invaders and whatnot. So, cool. Next one we have Explorers expansion. Again, this is going to be interesting because I have no idea what's in this whatsoever. I don't know what it's going to be. Based off the box, it's already looking cool. Looks like there's already mimics, which is awesome. Everyone loves a good mimic. Let's open this up. Hallelujah, hallelujah. So the exact same as every other box I've opened so far. So real simple. Looks like there's physical barrels, which is awesome. That is awesome. All right, so it adds new enemies, encounter cards, and treasure cards, as well as introducing terrain miniatures. Mimics the old Dragon Slayer mini-boss and the Pursuer main boss to the game. Wow, that is awesome. I had no idea I'd be getting the actual physical, barrels and stuff. That's badass. So, again, we've got some more dials here, which I won't put them together again, but we've got the old Dragon Slayer boss. We actually have a dial for the Mimic itself. So the Mimic is actually really strong. It's got 18 health. So itself, a Mimic turns into a mini boss fight. So that's really cool. And then we've got the Pursuer as well. So got some more dials there. And I won't go into these cards, but actually I will. I want to see the Mimic cards. I want to see what the Mimic does. Because in the video game, the Mimic has this like epic kick. It'll like kick you right in the face. And it'll also like face hug you, like jump on your face and like suck your face off. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look. Where are you at, Mimic? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hungry Mimic cards. All in different languages. So that's really cool. So they've got the Spanish version, the French version. No, that's the Spanish version, the German version, and then you've got the English version, which will obviously be the one that I play. Being in an English country, we don't really learn many other languages like all the other sort of European and Asian countries do. But how many of these cards are there? We've got... 15 encounter cards, 15 treasure cards, so they'll be in here. So extra encounter cards. So that's really cool. Make it feel a bit more unique, I guess, for the boss that you're playing. 8 old Dragon Slayer behavior cards. So there's quite a few behavior cards in these expansions. Silver Knight, Spearmen, that's pretty cool. That's a nice looking card. Look at this. It's a card with a big chest on it and a mimic. So I'm not sure how you would go about using that, but that's cool. And then you've actually got a card for a chest, which is weird to me. I'm not sure what that is. I guess maybe it's random. I guess you shuffle the deck and you draw randomly to see which one it is. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 2 like actual items and 2 mimics. So it's randomized by the looks of it, which is really cool. And then they do add 2 extra enemies to the game. So the Firebomb Hollow and the Silver Knight Spearmen. So that's really cool. So you're more encounter cards, Titanite Shards, Raw Gem, Havel's Great Shield, more Embers, stuff like that. So I do look forward to... Is it still 1 to 4 player? Yeah, it looks like it's still 1 to 4 players, this game. So even the new characters don't add any extra abilities to go 5 player, which is fine. You wouldn't want to play this game 5 player. It's one of the gripes I actually had with the Dark Souls board game is with single play, it's really cool because you get all the upgrades, but when you have 2 or 3 players, you've got to like decide who gets the upgrades and levels up and stuff because souls are really hard to come by in co-op. So, all right, let's go to the actual terrain, which is what I'm most excited for in this box. All right, I can already see some super fragile minis, but again, because you've got the actual plastic for it to hold them this time, it means they're not going to break. So we'll go straight into the boss fight. So who's this guy? The Pursuer. He is awesome. Look at that sword. That is unreal. That is a great mini. And again, you can see on his base there, it's got his direction, which is sort of hard to tell based on his actual pose, but they give you the bases with the lines on it to help you figure out which direction he's facing. Then we've got some Silver Knight Spearmen. We've got 3 of those. Very fragile, but again, it doesn't matter now that we have the plastic case for them. Probably the best figure in the whole expansion series, the Mimic. That's very cool. I'm very happy with that. And then obviously you've got the chest. So this is actually a Mimic chest. So he's actually not fully out yet. So I guess you got the normal chest minis now. So that's really cool. Bit of detail on that, and they'll fit perfectly on the node as well. What's this? This is an actual Bonfire Mini. Holy crap. I am so happy I bought these off Facebook and not the Kickstarter, because I had no idea what these would be. I didn't back the Kickstarter. I always bought it off Facebook because I bought it before I was sort of into the actual board games in general. It was before this YouTube channel even existed back in 2017. So we've got the barrels. They're pretty nice. They feel really good too. There's a lot of them though. There's a lot of barrels. And then we've got the gravestones. One of the more pointless sort of features in the Dark Souls board game. But I'm super happy with that. So we'll put those away and we'll get into the next one. All right, and the last one, Iron Keep expansion. So this one will probably add a bit of story as well, I would say. All right, let's open it up. I mean, these boxes are going to be really easy to store as well. They're not weak. They're quite sturdy boxes. Nothing too flashy about them. Oh, again, what we're used to. Oh, I see a mini in there that is massive. Probably the biggest one in the board game so far. Okay, so it adds new enemies, encounter cards, and treasure cards, as well as introducing the Sir Alone main boss and the Smelter Demon main boss to the game. The Iron Keep expansion includes components of English, French, German, Italian, and Spanish. Cards with the universal icon on them are intended for all use with all languages. Blah, blah, blah. Before you play for the first time, be sure to set aside any cards with flag icons that are not in your preferred language. This will leave only the universal cards and the cards which are marked for use with your preferred language. So that's pretty good that they've got all languages in there. It makes it easier for them for sure. But I'm really trying not to look over here too much because there is a massive mini that I'm excited for. So more dials. We won't go into those. So you got Sir Alone and the Smelter Demon. So they're pretty badass. They both aggro as well, which is cool. some more cards. So again, you'll have different languages in there. More item cards and encounter cards. And obviously you've got the clips for the health dials for the bosses. So we won't, again, we won't go too much into those. Let's get straight into these minis though. Let's take the top cover off, shall we? I'm not gonna delay you guys any further. You've been super patient with this long unboxing video. This is the Smelter Demon Mini Maxi, Greg likes to call it. Look at the midriff. It's all connected just by like a spine. That is awesome. Not heaps of detail into this one, but enough. There's like enough detail to make this one of the best minis in the game. The sword alone has quite a bit of detail on it though, like cracks and stuff. But that's awesome. That's quite large. I mean, if you compare it to this enemy figure, which is still quite large compared to the actual rest of the minis, that's a massive mini, that one. So that's really cool. So you get the smelter guy. You also get Sir Alone, which looks badass with his he's like a samurai guy. So that's really cool. And then you've got your generic sort of oh my god. I interrupted myself. You've got actual Titanite minis now. Like these guys, the Titanite bugs, that if you can catch, you can kill them. That's awesome. Is there a card in the deck for that? I've got to have a look right now. Yeah, there is actually. I got to open one up because these are a unique card for sure. I do like how with every expansion they're making it more and more like the video game. I didn't think that was possible. All right, so it looks like there's 5 Titanite shard cards. Bam. And each one has an item, corresponding item. If the only enemies left are crystal lizards, they escape. Okay, cool. Oh, and so there's one for each different language. So there is only one of these, just to clarify. So that's pretty cool. I'm very happy with this unboxing, honestly. And I think you guys, if you've got the board game, the core game, and you were a little underwhelmed with it, then this will make it feel like the game you were hoping for, possibly. I'm super thrilled with it. I can't wait to dig into it. You guys have to let me know in the comments though if you want me to actually record videos in it, because it doesn't add heaps of story or anything that you haven't really seen in the core game. Obviously, no, I take that back. It's got invaders and stuff like that, but it's nothing that's going to add a radically different amount of gameplay to it. But it does add quite a lot to the core game to make it look and feel like the video game, just that little bit more. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad they did all this sort of stuff. And I managed to get mine on the cheap on Facebook, so I would recommend getting it. But again, let me know in the comments if you want to see some more Dark Souls, the board game content. This is the excuse I've needed to get back into it and really sort of delve into it. Again, let me know if you want to see it in solo. I can record a video right now, and or if you want me to play it with another person and run through the whole game. But let me know. All right, thank you very much for watching. Leave comments below. Let me know what your favorite Dark Souls game is. If you've got the board game, what you think of it. Make sure you hit like on the video, and if you're new to the channel and you've made it this far and you've listened to what is probably like half an hour to 40 minutes of unboxing, make sure you subscribe as well, because we really appreciate it. All right, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, see ya.